said the inmates were rushed to Murtala Muhammed Specialist Hospital in Kano for treatment and handed over to the state government. Wow. This story is just very, very, how will I say it now? It's very twisted if you ask me, because 113 inmates, how did they get to the it's supposed to be a rehabilitation center? I know, I think some time back we were talking about one of the ways that drug abuse can be curbed in the country if we have standard rehabilitation centers. While we're talking about that, we never knew that some people were already running illegal rehabilitation centers, I would say torture houses, claiming to be rehabilitating these people. While they were torturing them, they said they met the people with various degrees of injuries and they were rushed to the hospital. You can imagine some might have had very, very terrible injuries, and these people were kept, 113 of them. My question is, how did they find themselves in that place? How did they get there? Were they deceived? Were they drugged? I don't understand. Or probably were deceived that, okay, this place is going to change you, is not being there. Very, very funny story. I really do think that proper investigation should be done. And if there are still places like this, if there are still so-called rehabilitation centers like this in other parts of the state and even in other parts of the country, they should be fished out. There are some so-called men of God that would say they have places where they keep people that are tortured them. They might even start calling it rehabilitation centers, because they to them, they are trying to change the people and trying to make them better version of themselves while they torture them. And I think that this is something that security are doing their investigations thoroughly, properly, and make sure that they fish these people out. I mean, they are killing people. Still on the Punch newspaper, four killed, others injured in Ondo Ogun road crashes. Four people were killed on Tuesday in two road accidents in Ogun and Ondo State. Punch Metro learnt that the three persons lost their lives and three others sustained injuries in an auto crash at Ogere, Ogun State end of the Lagos Way. The public education officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps in the state, Florence Okwe, confirmed the tragedy in a statement. She did see team in Ogere were deployed in the accident scene around 5:55 a.m. She said a total of 6 persons were involved, which comprised four male adults and two female adults, and 3 persons were injured, two male adults and a female adult. 5:55 a.m., meaning it was in the early hours of the morning. I keep saying this: if you're driving, time, um 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., it's still not really, really bright. And a lot of people still don't, I don't know if you don't know they don't know how to drive on the road, or they don't understand the road that they are driving through, or they just feel like, oh, they are very, very good drivers, and they just drive very, I mean, it's an expressway, anything could happen. People, imagine, two lives have been lost now, all in the name of they are trying to feel like they can drive too much or something. People should be careful. If you don't have proper lighting, I don't see any reason why you should even be driving on the road at that time of the hour when you know that you don't have proper lighting. And some of them still overspeed, some of them still try to overtake one vehicle or the other, and you're driving with people on the road, and some people are even in the vehicle. And I'll keep advising people that board vehicles where you notice that the driver is not driving properly. I think some passengers were querying the driver of a boat. It wasn't even a vehicle, it was a boat now. They were in the middle of the river. In fact, I even think that one is worse, especially for someone like me that I'm scared of the water. They were in the middle of the river, and I think the driver took a substance, probably overdrank, and he was kind of tipsy, and probably he didn't know what he was doing. Questioning the driver on how he was driving. That is the way it's supposed to be, not the fact that you're in the vehicle and the driver is driving very recklessly and you just sit down because you don't want to offend the driver. Who is offending the driver? You paid for that particular, and even if it's a private vehicle, your life and that of the driver matters as well. So why try to please the driver at your own detriment? It doesn't just make any sense whatsoever. 23-year-old bags life imprisonment for raping Lagos teenager. Wow. Justice Abiola Sholadoye of the Lagos State Special Offences Court has sentenced man Blessing Okon to life imprisonment for raping a 14-year-old girl. The prosecutor, while arraigning Okon before the court, said he committed the offense on September 13, 2019 on Ribadu Road off Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos State. During the trial, the prosecution called 3 witnesses, the victim, her father, and a medical doctor. Okon testified solely. The victim, during her evidence, told the court that the convict sexually assaulted her when she was 9 years old by touching her breast on 2 occasions. She added that he defiled her when she was 14 years old by dragging her to the staircase of her home and having unlawful sexual intercourse with her. Very sad story, but then I like the judgment. I can't lie. Some people will say, oh, the judgment was too harsh. But then if we keep having mercy on these people, it seems like they're not even repentant at all. At all. They are not, most of them are not repentant. So they do it today, they lock them up for a certain period of time and they go back. They go back again to the same thing and they continue the cycle all over again. So I think that the judgment that the judge gave was well deserved. Probably he would learn his lesson, turn a new leaf, and probably his sentence might be reduced later on if it goes for appeal. But then they should be made to pay for their crimes. That is justice, basically. 20 suspected oil thieves nabbed in Rivers, 11 trucks, 10 cars seized. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Rivers State Command has arrested 20 suspected oil thieves in the ongoing fight against illegal oil bunkering in the state. The agency also seized 11 boats, a bus, and 10 cars laden with illegally refined petroleum products. Parading the suspects and the seized vehicles at the command headquarters in Port Harcourt on Tuesday, the new state commandant Abu Tambuwal said the command would continue to intensify its fight against illegal bunkering activities on land and water. There, something to applaud the civil defense, call for, and something to also applaud the River State government for. I know for some time there had been this cry, by citizens of the state saying how they were dying of soot in the state because of these illegal refineries that were running, and then the governor got angry. The security operatives should make sure that they fish these people out and shut down all the illegal refineries and make sure that these people are arrested, and that is exactly what they are doing. It's one thing for you to give an instruction to security operatives in your state. Police is not under the state, so we will not listen. We will do whatever it is that we want, but I'm very, very happy that they listen in this case and they are doing the job very well. And we hope that it continues. We hope that these illegal refineries stop their activities in buying. And so I'm happy that, it's finally coming to an end. All right, that was it this morning on the newspaper headline. So yesterday was the 1st of February, and I just talked briefly about how it's a month of love as well. Yeah, self-love, very, very important part of love that many times we tend to overlook. So if someone is not giving us love, we just feel like, oh, there's no love in your life. What about you? Have you shown love to yourself? In fact, you're the first person that is to show love to yourself, because if you don't feel loved, trust me, no matter what any other person does to show you love, you will still feel worthless, because you have not first loved yourself. So today I'll just talk briefly on something entirely different, but then it's from a place of love as well. It's also from a place of love. A lot of times women that don't have any health issue or any health issue whatsoever, and they're below the age of or above the age of 30. Also, I'm not sick, but then I would say that you do not have to be sick before you take certain healthcare precautions. You don't have to be sick before you make sure that you do some things just to make sure that your health is in good shape. And especially if you are above the age of 30. So 30 and above, you have to be very careful as a lady. Now I'm talking to the ladies for this one, because much love for ladies. It's the month of love, so I want to show love to you guys. So here I'll just briefly give some healthcare tips for ladies that are above the age of 30. If you're above the age of 30, these are some things that you should be very, very watchful about. These are some things that you should make sure become part of your routine. One of them, exercise habits. make sure you have an exercise routine. I know it might be very difficult, you have work, so many people have things to take care of, you have the kids, you have this and that, but then still try a little exercise every morning or every evening won't hurt you. It will only make your health better. So try to build an exercise routine. Make sure you an exercise, even if it's just a morning jog, it's something. So you wake up in the morning, you jog around your area. You don't have to go to somewhere very far to jog. Just jog around your area. A little stretch here and there. It's exercise altogether and to help you a lot. Another one is to make sure that you visit the hospital regularly. I'm not saying you should go there and ask them for malaria drugs. Just basically go there for routine checkup. You know, go there, do checkup, do an all-round checkup just to make sure. Now, it's you don't have to be sick. A lot of people believe that it's only when they are sick that they need to visit the hospital. Well, that notion is extremely wrong, especially when you're 30. It's very, very important to go to the hospital for periodic checkups, probably every 6 months or every 3 months, depending on how you want it for yourself. It's in your hands. But make sure you just visit for periodic checkups. Just check. There are several things to be checked. You could, do a dental checkup, eye checkup, pap smear, mammograms, and such things like that. The doctors will definitely know the right checkups for you to do as a woman, and it's very, very important because a lot of times we have seen cases where women have one disease or the other, and most times the symptoms do not show almost to like stage 2, and that is when you now go, and in such cases sometimes the cancer has already spread to other parts of the body and you just become helpless. But then if you have periodic checkups, you'll be able to know when a certain thing is not right in your body. So that is very important. And another one is to practice safe sex. Yeah, that is if you are not married, or if you're married whatsoever, it's still very important to practice safe sex as a woman that is above 30, because your body can be very, very vulnerable at that point. So you could actually pick whatever disease, or whatever disease you're not supposed to get. There are sexually transmitted diseases everywhere, so you have to be very, very, very careful. And then drink more water. I think I'm talking to myself in this water aspect because I'm not very fond of drinking water, but it's very important. You don't have to eat before you drink water. In this part of the world, we believe that it's only when you eat that you just have to drink water, but then it's very important to drink water in the morning. Take a glass of water when you wake up. At night, just make sure you drink water every day. Now, one of the things that water does for you is to make sure that you have a healthy blood pressure. It maintains your blood pressure, lubricates your joints, and it regulates your body temperature. Very important. So if you're someone that your body temperature is usually fluctuating, if you take a whole lot of water, you find out that will be reduced to the barest minimum. And then you have to find a relaxation practice. Now, I know that at that particular age, 30 and above, is like the heat of the moment where you have to achieve those things that you've always wanted to achieve. You have work, like I said earlier, you have family, you have this and that, you have goals, you want to buy that house, you want to buy that car, you want to make that investment. But then you still have to find time to relax, because if you don't, you will just end up breaking down. So it's very, very important to find time to relax. And then lastly, I would say sleep more. Very important. Don't stay up all night, say you're working. I know there are times like that work might not allow you sleep, but when you have the little opportunity to, make sure that you sleep very well. It helps you stay healthy. All right, that was it this morning on the Breakfast Show on the Ultimate FM. I hope you had a great time in today's program. Join us again next time for another interesting episode. But until then, do have a great day. Bye.